So, since you guys both here look at a replay with the two of you in it, and this also happens to be the only game in the Scrim against the Bears, that they had their two starters play in the same game. In all the other games, it was one starter and one reserve.
Yep.
So, I'll take a look at this. Nice challenge. It's a good start. Alright, so this is something we need to watch out for. Is that, so to go back a little bit. Clory just to the corner, goes for another touch. Still in mid. So at this point, nope, that's not what I want to do. So at this point, Clory's still in the corner, and idjo, you're trying to looks like trying to pressure to get a shot on net. However, this is very dangerous to do because going for this ball means that you're both in the same corner and
Right.
you're not really cover much of the field.
That's super easy.
Yeah. So and I'm pretty sure that Rection gets this past you, so then you guys get in a bad spot where you're both trying to get back because you both pushed up in the same corner, which in twos is something you never really want to do.
Right.
So here, what I would have done, CC Rexton's probably gonna get touched on, so you can like fake challenge. So get them actually. So you can grab this boost and then rotate out because by the way he's positioned. My guess is he's gonna wait for this to bounce like probably here, I think, and then he's gonna probably try to hit it out this way. So that you can rotate back, and rotate or bug sometimes. So I don't know whether that boost is here or not. If this boost spawns as you're going back, pick that up. If not, then so like if he hits it this way, then continue going back in shadow. Try to allow Clory to rotate back this way. Or if Rexton recognizes that you're giving him the space, and he tries to take it out this way, then you can do this way and try to cut him off that way. Instead of dying for, because I see it's like he's the only one back, so it's like it's a good chance to try to score, but realistically in twos you don't want to try to put yourselves in the same spot really ever. So that's something that we should watch out for.
Okay.
So you hit this, and unfortunately it goes right back to him.
Right.
So now you guys need to get back. Clory gets back just in time to stop that. So here, it'll be good. I'll go to your see what you saw player view. So if we go back a little bit. So at this point, you have the ball. So what I've done here, go back if I can, go back a little bit. So by this point when you caught it, I'm pretty sure you could, or even at this point, you can see Clory was to your right. So what I would have done here was, well, so like I think you wanted to get it to, but you realized that you're wrong side of the ball, so you decided to go for the solo play and try to just get it in the net.
Right.
But what you could have done here, since kick punch is all the way in net and their teammate is somewhere all the way back here, we can't even see them on the field. So what I've done, just slow down the pace, let the ball get to here, and by that point you can kind of get up here and then side flip it out to Clory, and then Clory could take a shot.
Okay.
Or even like group it up even more, try to just push it up. So let me clear some of these lines. So you just can stay the ball as you're going like this, and then you can, so that then Kick thinks you're going to take it out, so you might start pushing out to try to meet you, and then you could try to keep the ball rolling, but then you cut this side and then Kick it out to Clory, and then he can try to shoot it far post as Kick is over here. Just trying to recognize when you're in a 2v1 situation and using your teammate to advantage. Yeah.
Right.
And so like not only that, but also just using recognize Jones is quite a far away, so he had plenty of time to try to do something here. Instead, I think it's another counterattack situation that they probably should have scored, but Rex B. Jones messed up his landing. So it gave you guys time to get back. So, so here, this is something that we need to be careful of as well, is not diving into the corner when we don't need to. If idjo was back in net, like if he was getting back net over here behind Clory, then Clory should go for this. But with idjo already out, Clory should just wait in net. You can maybe check backwards, get back post, get it each your spot, and wait to see what he does with the ball. Because at this point, the ball is in the safe spot on the field. It's in the corner, which it's very difficult for them to get a fast shot. So just waiting out, seeing what they do, which will allow idjo to try to cut off, get back, and then potentially because Kick is in an awkward position here. So even if he waits as soon as bounces, and assuming maybe he catched it, he can either let's say you catch it and you can just drive it forward, and then Clory can push up and lock that off. But if he does that and then passes to his teammate, by this point idjo would probably be about here on his rotation back and be able to cut that pass off, hopefully.
Okay.
So like when you're last back, you generally don't want to dive into the corner unless you feel you absolutely have to. But this was not one of the situations really had to. But you got the win, which is good. And the demo as well. Unfortunately, he spawns there.
Yeah.
It's a bit unlucky. So this is just another instance of recognizing the time and space that they're giving you. So to hit that, so let's go to your player cam. At this point, yeah, you can't really see them. So I go back a little further. You go to hit this, you see this pass Kick, but throughout this play you can't ever see where the other player is. So I understand why you're waiting for this immediately again. But so as you're falling down here, you turn off ball cam for quickly, you'll be able to see where he is and that he's going into the corner, and then you can turn it back on, and then take this slow. Let's get closer. So if instead you just waited on the ground for this, ball would have probably landed around here. You didn't have to jump, you could just sat there. And then at this point Rexton would have had to choose, is he going to stay in this corner, but that's probably a pretty bad spot for him. So he has to either go back to net or challenge you. If he challenges you, you can just drive up the ball, try to bring it around him. And then if he goes to net, Kick is all the way back off camera and pretty far out of the play as you just beat him to the ball. So if, let's say, Rexton goes back to the net. If you also pay attention to like where he is using the turn off ball cam and look around with your right stick, you can just let this bounce, try to get around it. Bounce another time if he goes all the way back to net, and then you can control it. And I don't remember where Clory is at this point, but maybe trying to get it out to Clory if he's can get mid, or just so just trying to recognize when you guys have space and use it to advantage. So yeah, Clory, where's Clory? Yeah, Clory's back. So you wouldn't have really be able to do a pass most likely, but here since you go for it, you kind of just give away the ball to him.
Right.
And so just trying to recognize when you guys have that space and don't have to rush everything.
Alright.
Will be extremely helpful.
We're on top of each other.
Yeah, this is a little clustered, so let's take a look what could have been done a little bit better here. So Clory just hits this out, which is fine. So at this point, someone should come to go. So since it's kind of awkward that you're both right there, but I would say since idjo's in front, do this. So I would say getting the pen. So idjo, you can kind of bring up the ball and kicks right here, so he's probably gonna turn quickly for this once he sees one of you. So Clory, you can probably drive out this way, and if idjo wins the challenge, then you can push up and be a passing option, or if he misses, then you can go back to net.
Alright, sounds good.
It's like something important that I always like to think of when I'm playing twos is as like the second man, where can I get into like a relatively safe position that like if my is my teammate in danger of like getting 50s, then I'll go back a little bit, but if not, then I'll try to go for a passing option, but not pushing up too far that you can't recover if something goes wrong. So here again, you're both on the same wall, not really covering a whole lot of the field with that. It was good by Clory to kind of shadow and let them push it out while idjo recovers, not rushing it. Then he rushes it there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So that's another situation I was talking about, like earlier, just trying to recognize where your teammate is and that your teammate's not recovered, so that if you get beat, this is I'm pretty sure that this is another situation they probably could have scored, but then idjo recovers. So lucky you guys are recovering fast enough to not get countered, but just something to try to avoid entirely if possible. And idjo's getting a little close again as Clory was in their net. Like just trying to recognize, don't really need to rush that. Like if it's the end of the game, if you're down, that makes sense, but you're up by a goal, still plenty of time left, no time to rush that.
Yep.
That was unfortunate.
Yeah.
Or rather fortunate for us, really unfortunate for him.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's the third or fourth like counter-attack goal chance they've had this game so far.
Yeah, they had more chances. They should have taken this game from us.
Yeah. Save, got us. Nice. good recovery for the save. Again, getting on top of each other.
Yeah.
Gotta watch out for that. That's usually a comms thing. Like you don't, and I was in comms, so I don't really remember, because this was quite a few days ago. But just something to watch out for. That can improve the comms on who's going, so the other person can stay back. So here, this is kind of what I was talking about earlier, about getting into a safe passing spot. So here Clory recognizes that he's too close, so he tries to get to passing spot. However, when Joe gets beat, he's kind of pushed up a bit far. So actually I'm gonna go back a bit more. So alright, so at this point, this is going to be get 50 between Rexton and idjo. So Clory should try to recognize that this is going to be 50 and you don't really know which way this go. So what I would do is I would turn back for this boost, and by the time you get here, or even before you get there, you probably see which way this 50, so that if he wins it, you can push up, and so maybe idjo can get it to you or roll in front of you and you can hit it in. Or if Rexton gets it, this isn't really going to be able to go straight on net unless it's a super crazy pinch that somehow goes off the ceiling, hits a corner on the wall, and then goes back to net, but that's super unlikely. Then after you grab this boost, you can just turn back, and this is probably gonna, I don't remember exactly, but this is probably, if say we know Rexton wins, so I know it pops like straight up, and then it's just gonna go here, and maybe it would go off wall and then bounce mid, but then you'd still be able to get back to that. So just trying to recognize what's the safest option as second man in case your teammate gets beat, but also be able to stay in the spot that you can push up if your teammate wins it. So you can just kind of go straight up. That was a good challenge. Like, this is what I was talking about earlier. We're not challenging the corner, just waiting for them to bring it to you, and then killing the ball. So in this game, they definitely had a lot of opportunities to score because of the counterattacks. This is something that we'll need to watch out for. So basically, actually not being too aggressive in offense, where you can just take your time a little more. Or when your teammate is still like on their backboard or in their net trying to recover. Taking space, trying to recognize when we have space and take that. And then watch out for when you're on top of each other and try to recognize and try to put yourself in a spot that you can for a pass or safely get back in time.
Alright.
Those are the main things I saw in this replay. Do you guys have any questions or things you want me to look over again in this replay?
Not on top of my head, no.
Alright.
Not really. A lot of this is just me like learning, and then because I don't know twos.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm more of threes players myself, so at my rank I'm trying to learn how to play twos more than threes now, but so it's always a learning process.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.